Hey everybody, Sheila Magalhaes here from Heartsong Yoga Center in East Longmeadow, Massachusetts. I am filming here in the great room, offering to you for the very first time something called live stream on YouTube, and I have no idea of how it will all turn out. And I think that that's kind of the theme for all of us today on March 29th, 2020, of not knowing what's coming next, and then how do we navigate that? And how do we remain calm and centered and settled with the uncertainty? I really believe in this power of yoga, a practice that's been passed down through the centuries, some say nearly 5,000 years old. And the classical eight-limbed path of yoga that's designed to bring us into a state of inner stillness, strength and stability, inner calm in the midst of whatever might be swirling around us. And through these very practical steps and through this very beautiful methodology, we can also begin to access what I like to call inner wisdom, connecting to your highest self, your intuition, so that you can take the time in your practices to listen to that inner wisdom and to perhaps be guided by it for your health, for your vitality of body, mind, and spirit. So I'm navigating uncharted territory in the world of technology and bringing it together with this ancient practice of yoga. And I guess that's just where we are. Yes, it's where I am today. A gentle practice today in the Kripalu tradition, which is the yoga of compassion, acceptance, and loving kindness. It will be infused with mindfulness, meditation, and very accessible, very gentle practice of yoga, probably about 30 minutes long. So we'll see how we do. I'm going to retire back to my cushion and to my mat. Feel free, if you like, to sit in a chair and do these practices from a chair as much as you can. All right? So thank you for joining me. I like to sit on a cushion because when I do, it lifts the hips up a little bit and lets my knees relax. And just that little tilt of the pelvis can be helpful to feel comfortable. This seated position is called easy pose, but I know it's not easy for everybody. So if you need to stretch your legs out in any way, or if you'd like to be up on a chair, that's perfectly fine. And as we move through these instructions, my invitation to you is to make an intention to listen to the wisdom of your body and to trust the information that follows. So as I lead you and guide you, if there's any part of this that doesn't feel quite right, or if you have an injury, or you have a place in your body that's feeling a little stuck or a little tight, no worries. Stop and breathe and just be with us. And consider where you are sitting in your home. Maybe it's a back bedroom or a spare room, or you've carved out some space in your closet or down in your cellar. Imagine all of the people who perhaps might be pausing for a moment with you. And that each and every one of us, I am very sure, is offering out that care and compassion to the community and out into the world. And I always like to say that that peace and love lands where it's needed most. This practice for everybody. I invite you to lengthen up through the crown of your head and settle your sitting bones down to the earth. And when I begin, quite often the hands are face down, resting on the knees in a way that seems a little grounding. especially if there's been oh, a lot of movement, if things feel a little turbulent, grounding. Another way to hold your hands could be with the palms facing up. And this feeling sometimes is open, receptive, and ready. So, whatever feels right for you in this moment, I invite you to begin the practice of turning your attention inward. And we'll start with the centering, some settling, and some quieting. And then we'll move into some movement, stretching, strengthening, opening, creating some flexibility and range of motion, and shedding physical as well as emotional tension, as well as the psychic tension that might be building in your body, mind, spirit. And then we'll come back down and sit for a moment or two again together. So as you sit, you could close your eyes or look soft past the tip of the nose. And I'll join you for a moment. And if it's comfortable for you, shift your breathing so that it's in and out through the nose in a way that feels smooth and even, kind of whispery, a little bit like a sigh. And keep readjusting ever so slightly your posture. Try not to be too fussy as we get settled, but if you feel the urge to make a move or make a change, feel free to do that. A meditation practice doesn't have to be rigid or tight, and it certainly doesn't have to be painful. And as you breathe, you might take one of those great big breaths in and let out a great big sigh because your body's just saying, oh man, thank you for paying attention and letting me breathe. Even if it's just for a moment to breathe can start to settle you. And for a meditation practice, it doesn't have to be really fancy. It doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, pick one thing, put your attention to it, get your concentration practice happening, and you may find that you slip into a place of stillness in the mind that becomes a sense of stillness to the soul, to the spirit, to the heart. And then suddenly you remember, oh, I'm back, I come back. And don't go chasing after that feeling, because truly this is a practice of paying attention, not zoning out, right? Not going off into thoughts and dreams and visions and stories, although that may happen. And if it does, take another deep breath in. Exhale, let it go, let it pass through you. You're not trying to push away the bad thoughts. You're not trying to suppress your feelings, but you're feeling them as they move through you and by you and rise up like a wave and fall away. So let's try that some more, where you simply close your eyes and observe your breath, because the breath is an excellent anchor to the present moment. The feel of the breath, the quality, the temperature, the fullness, the way your body responds, just breathe. Think about any time you've been in a situation where you're starting to ramp up your nervous system or you're starting to get anxious or worried, and someone who loves and cares for you will put their hand on your shoulder and say, just take a breath. Just take a breath. Everything's going to be all right. That's my invitation to you. Just take a breath. Sometimes it's hard to come in and take the seat and launch into a practice of stillness or meditation because the body is still kind of revved up a little bit. So let's take a few movements that will help to start to relax the physical body as you start to quiet the mind. So lift your shoulders up to your ears. You can lift your hands off your knees or lap and roll the shoulders back. And do it again. Lift the shoulders up to your ears and roll them back and down. And one more time, lift those shoulders up to your ears and squeeze them back and down. Stretch your arms out to T position, wriggle your fingers. Roll your wrists around. Let your elbows get involved like you're opening up wings of a beautiful bird, just a beautiful, beautiful wingspan. Take your fingertips to your shoulders, roll the elbows in a circular motion. You might notice one side feels different than the other. You know, we think we're finding balance and that everything has to be equal and the same, but guess what? We are very asymmetrical in our bodies. One leg might be shorter, one hip might be tighter, one eye could see better, one shoulder might be looser than the other. So really honor the beauty of all of who you are. Go in the other direction without thinking that you have to fix it, change it, or be better at it. This is a practice of loving yourself, bringing compassion to yourself, and then you can bring it to others, I promise. Put your fingertips to the floor. Lean into one hand and lift the opposite arm and reach across and over. Lean into the opposite hand. Inhale, exhale, across and over. Come back up. As you do, hug the belly in slightly, lifting the navel center in and up. It will give you some core support and stability. And inhale, come up across and over. Come back to the center with the arms reaching out. Turn the palms up and lift the arms up into a wide, wide V. Stretch out through your fingers, open up the hands, tip your head back, look skyward. More room to breathe, right? More space across the chest and the heart. Gradually, the arms reach out to the side, palms turn down. Take one hand across to the opposite knee, bring the opposite hand behind you, look over your shoulder. Come across and over to the other side, take your knee and look over the shoulder. Still sitting upright, tall, elegant. Come back to the center and place your hands on your knees. Lift your shoulders to your ears. Squeeze them back and slide them down. Lift the shoulders to your ears, squeeze them back and slide them down like you're letting some heavy weight fall off of your shoulders. Take your arms out to T position, palms face front. Reach your hands together so they clasp. Flip your hands around so you open the shoulders. Lift the hands up overhead so you stretch out through the shoulders, lengthen the spine. Draw the belly in slightly. Just look past your nose, or maybe you're working with your eyes closed, which is super nice to just be able to listen and move and kind of find your own internal quiet space. Separate the hands and trace a great big circle around your body. Touch the earth. Turn the palms up. Inhale, rise up, rise up. These are sun breaths. Tip your head skyward. Exhaling as you swoop the arms out, over, down. Touch the earth. Inhale, rise up, reaching towards the sky, sun breaths. Exhaling, recognize that the sun is going to shine even on the cloudiest of days. Ultimately, the sun will be able to be revealed once again and reach up, reach up, reach up. Exhale, out, over, and down. Mindful movement, paying attention on purpose. Not sure about how you're feeling, but my knees are starting to say, time to unwind. So stretch your legs out. This is my favorite moment. Ooh. Slide off of your cushion if you're on one. Lean back a little bit into your hands and shake the legs out. Shake them out. And then point and flex your feet. And circle your ankles around. It might be a little noisy. This is just the chance to bring in some, again, attention to the different parts of the body that maybe you're not paying a lot of attention to. Sometimes we're so busy in our brains and in our heads, these practices help us to land in the body and to drop into a space that potentially can bring in peace, ease, and comfort. Draw your feet together, grab your toes. Let your knees rock up and down. Draw back your shoulders. Press up through the crown like you're being drawn up towards the heavens. Now we're moving into the hips, and the hips hold an enormous amount of tension. And so this is just the chance to stretch them out, move into those hips, bring some space, some mobility, lean forward a bit, elbows to the inner thighs, bound angle, look out and away from the tips of your toes, not down. So your spine is an extension. It's beautiful. It's long. You're not rounding. We do a lot of rounding in our world today with technology. Leaning over our phones and computers and our desks and our work. Inhale as you draw yourself back up. Breath connected to movement is a very powerful way to create that sense of balance. Bring the knees together and squeeze around your shins and drop your head. Rock a bit from side to side. So earlier on, and just a moment ago, I said that word balance, right? Equanimity, balance. So when we start to recognize that things aren't always in balance, even in our own body minds, the next piece that you can cultivate to help you to navigate uncertain times is compassion for yourself and acceptance for what is. And finding the acceptance from what is helps you to make the changes that you might need to make in order to move more smoothly and more easily into the next parts of your life. Separate your feet, drop both knees to one side, look over the opposite shoulder, bring your knees up and across and over, and look over the opposite shoulder. Bring yourself back to the center, put the soles of your feet together. Now, what you might notice if you've been practicing with me for a while, a very long time, or just over these last couple of weeks, there's a lot of repetition. And think about with the repetition, now you'll fold forward, and this time do let your head drop down and round a bit, because it does feel good to bring the spine into flexion as well. But with repetition, we say that magic can arise. So these practices don't have to get fancier and more complicated and more interesting, and I don't have to necessarily entertain you. Bring your knees together, but instead lead you through these practices that help perhaps for you to find some peace. Now I'm going to go sideways here, and from here, for some strength of the low back and belly, boat pose. Hold behind your legs, lift the legs, soft point the toes, look up towards your toes, draw the shoulders back, making this V shape in your body. This can be hard to hold on to, so a variation is to bring your shins level to the floor. Keep holding on or reach out. And hold and look over your toes. And breathe in and out through your nose and smile. Find that Buddha smile. Hold behind the backs of your legs. Cross your right ankle over the left. Let your feet come down and just sit for a moment. Sit very tall. Shrug back your shoulders. Exhale a sigh. Just notice how you feel. See if you've stirred up a little energy, life force, prana. Open your eyes, come back, lean back. And bring your hands underneath your shins and knees and hold again. Reach out. And you can reach out, you can hold on, or you might lift up a little higher. And then bend your knees, hold them. Slowly bring your feet now flat to the floor. Lean back behind you, feet flat, hands flat. Lift up your hips. Come to a reverse tabletop. Let the head drop comfortably back. and gradually come back down. No very beautiful, graceful way to do this, but we're going to come to hands and knees, downward facing dog, and a little bear walk up towards your hands and hands towards your feet. Dangle down, grab one elbow with each hand, or put your elbows on your thighs. If you're comfortable in ragdoll, just letting everything go, hang your head and shake it out. Shake out old stories, shake out old images, shake out any worry. Exhale, just letting go. Like that heaviness can fall off your shoulders and just drain off your fingertips. Put one hand above each knee, walk your hands up the fronts of your legs, stack the vertebrae one above the other, and stand tall, shoulders back and down, and shake out your hands and shake out your feet, kind of Heartsong Yoga style. Let your hands wrap around your body. Just wrap around. One foot picks up each time and wraps around. Soften in the knees. One heel comes up each time. See if you can stir up the air in the room. Stir it up. Stir it up. Come back to the center. Shake it out a little bit. Set your feet hip width apart. That's ankles under knees, under the crease of your, the curve of your hip bones, of your pelvis. And rock a little bit from the ball of the foot to the heel, back and forth. When it feels as though those feet are settled firmly on the earth, bring your hands together at the heart. Draw back your shoulders for the most classic, beautiful posture of mountain pose. Lace your fingers to steeple, slide your thumbs up past your nose and brow, stand tall. Look past your nose out in front of you. See if you can do this posture with your eyes open and train your peripheral vision to stay very soft, really neutral. So you're not getting agitated by anything that you see. You're not getting drawn out of the moment. Breathing in and out through the nose, so smooth, so even. Invite in the relaxation response. Separate your hands to a wide V. Tip your head back for a moment. Open up towards the beauty of the sky above you, appreciating this moment where you are in safety, where you are in your moment of practices to cultivate peace and ease, to cultivate strength, flexibility, and balance. The arms float out to the side to T, the palms turn down, and the thumbs turn down. Reach back, clasp your hands, separate your feet fairly wide, turn your toes in, squeeze back your shoulders, and exhale, fold over. This is yoga mudra. We're going to get upside down again. See, you don't have to stand on your head to get upside down. Drop your head, yoga mudra. This is a symbol of yoga. The head drops, the heart rises. Come into the place of the heart. Come into the place of your intuition. Drop the intellect and the thinking for a moment. Just breathe. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale there. Inhale, come all the way up. Turn your toes so they face out and reach your arms skyward. It's five-pointed star. Look up. Breathe in and out through the nose. Feel the space that you're creating in your body, physically, electromagnetically, emotionally, for all the parts of yourself, for all that you hold. And as slowly as you can, when you look forward, sweep the arms out, over, down. Exhale there. Heel toe, your feet in towards each other until they are hip width apart. Bring your hands to your heart, to the Anjali mudra. Close your eyes for a moment and relax your thighs, your knees, your shoulders. Put one hand over the heart center. Put the other hand on top of it, pausing for this moment to feel, to be, to breathe, to let go. A layer of tension falls away. Thighs soften, knees, hips, buttocks. It might even feel like you're swaying a bit, like you're being buffeted by a breeze. Take a big breath in. Exhale a cleansing sigh. Open your eyes, let your hands fall away. Now we slowly make our way back down to the ground. Come onto hands and knees. Bring your big toes together, take the knees wide, drop your hips back. Stack your hands one over the other and put your head down to child's pose. Lift your gaze, coming up. You're welcome to choose between coming onto your back to lie down in shavasana or deep relaxation, which is at the end of every practice. Or come up and sit with me for a few minutes of meditation, mindfulness, and paying attention on purpose. And even if you choose to take shavasana, lie down, get a blanket. Maybe you'll do that after you sit for a little while. And it's not that you'll just go to sleep. You'll hover, hopefully, in a place that's between your waking state and your sleeping state. And a place where you can let your thoughts come and filter through your mind's eye without having to get carried away again in the stories. Right? Our cares and concerns, if you start to think about what's going to happen next, your body responds to it. And if you're starting to get anxious, everything physically and energetically starts to get anxious too. So you notice that and you say, not that now, just this, just be, just breathe. In fact, let's all do this, whether you're lying down or sitting upright. Put your hands at your belly and your eyes are closed. And when you breathe in, see if you can feel the belly rise, the ribs, the collarbones. And then let the breath pour out. A long, slow exhalation. And again, what we call 3-part belly breathing or Durga pranayama, harnessing the prana, harnessing the life force. Relax your face, cheeks, jaw, eyes, behind your eyes. And if you'd like to sit in this more formal style of meditation, your hands can rest on your lap or knees. Press up through the crown as though you're lengthening and lifted towards the heavens. Keep the breath equal in length with the occasional longer exhalation that will access that parasympathetic nervous system and will help you to stay calm and at ease. Keeping your eyes closed, staying resting on your back or sitting in your posture of meditation, I'm going to grab a book that I love to share from a poet from the Kripalu Center. Her name is Dana Falls. We love her and have been reading her poetry for 27 years. This is from her newest book, which is called What's True Here? Breath of Peace. I receive the breath of peace. An easy breath, no need to make it deeper. The simple act of breathing reveals both inner light and the tight places where I'm not quite free. Sensing them, naming them, sending breath into the heart of my defenses shifts the balance from fear back to equanimity again. Divine presence enters with each breath, and it grows clear to me that the breath is the lock. Breath is the key. Breath, the open door to divinity. Thank you for joining me for this practice, for this exploration into new technology, for the chance to grow, to have the courage to step into the unknown, this opportunity that we have together to connect. And you can bring your hands to your heart in the anjali mudra or place your hands over your heart center if you're resting. And consider those who you love and care for, near and dear, far and beyond. Consider your family members, friends close by. Consider your neighborhood. Those who you know more intimately and others whose doors you pass when you take a walk or drive into your neighborhood. And consider each of those individuals as brothers and sisters, that we are all connected. Expand your love and care out from your neighborhood to the neighboring states, the neighboring cities and towns, the neighboring countries, and all the way out into the universe for all beings everywhere. Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, and peace in our world. And may your prayer of peace echo out like a stone being dropped into a still and quiet pond in ways that are seen and unseen. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. And thank you. Till we meet again. See how this goes.